Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I wanted to cover the best mixed troop formations to kind of round out the end of the best formations. Obviously, if you guys can't tell, I have a webcam and a different mic. I'm using a different mic. It's actually not newer, but the other one, I don't know, you could hear a lot of stuff like that. So let me know how you guys like the quality, and if you want me to get rid of the webcam, just let me know. Okay, so anyway, starting things off, I think the mixed troops are very good. Currently, definitely with the advent of Baneblade, they're super good. Because Baneblade, it doesn't matter if they're vehicles, fighters, shooters, every single troop type gets the same exact bonuses. Whereas normally, you know, if you have a shooter part in your APC and you put in a fighter, you have fire troops, those troops aren't going to get those bonus attributes. So with that said, kind of what we'll notice in this trend is generally it's a lot of supporty heroes with kind of, a glass cannon hero from another unit type, I guess. So the first one that we see, it's given a 10 out of 10. It's Canoness, Tech Priestess, and Hummingbird. So this is very good. This does get beat by some of the best vehicle Season X formations. So, for example, Kamikaze, Heavens, Death Rider, Heaven Organic, Death Rider. Anything really with Heavens, Redemption, and Death Rider is probably going to beat this lineup. But this is a very, very consistent lineup, and it's very good on defense as well. So let's get into it. So Canoness, as we can see, I already have this set up because I think it's pretty good. Canoness is basically a very defensive kind of support hero. So she has a insane amount of healing, an insane amount of recovery. She also has really good CC, so she has very strong suppression. And this suppresses the furthest enemy. She's very tanky with HP and resistance. And then her fifth ability makes her even more tanky if she's in the front. It makes the squad more tanky, I should say. And it has a cleanse as well. Not going to go in depth on her. If you want to know more about her, check out the best Season X fighter videos that I have up. Similar with Tech Priestess, I'm going to go pretty quick, but she's kind of a defensive supporty hero, so she's very tanky. She heals a lot, so she has a lot of recovery. She has buffs, so she basically just buffs the squad in the beginning. And then she has good CC as well, so she has this confusion that's super good. And radar jamming is one of my favorite abilities in the game, by the way. And then, like I said, recovery, and then she's very tanky. She has HP and resistance. So we have two tanky recovery support CC kind of buffy heroes. And then we have Hummingbird, who's basically the exact opposite. She's a very glass cannon, very, very damage focused hero. All of her abilities do damage, and a lot of it. She has increased damage on her sixth ability, and even her fourth ability is definitely glass cannon based. So her fourth ability is actually different than almost every other hero, which I think is pretty cool. So it's called Last Stand. Most season heroes will have just plus 50 might, and that's it. She has plus 60 might, also plus 20 increased damage, but she takes 20% more damage, which is interesting. So definitely a double-edged sword kind of deal. However, if you pair her up with Canoness and Tech Priestess, it doesn't matter that she's taking more damage because they're just going to heal her up. So she's not going to die, essentially. And the sort of idea is that she's not going to get hit that much to begin with. So yeah, with that said, that's kind of why that lineup works pretty well, is because you have these two kind of just tanky monsters in front, and then you have Hummingbird, who just does a shit ton of damage. I'm actually going to show you guys a sort of report of this in action. Sorry, this sound is a little bit too loud. So let's lower that a little bit. But it was actually in the previous championship duel. So there's this person, Spoon Chick, I don't know. But she actually is using this lineup. And you can see that Spoon Chick versus Golden Boy, and they're using the same lineup. So let's just check it out really quick. As you can see, a lot of treatment, decent damage from Hummingbird, but I believe check might be the first battle. Yeah. Look at this number, 215,000 skill kills plus 54,000 basic attack kills. So she alone did 260,000 kills in a single battle. That's pretty crazy. And as you can see here, Spoon Chick took minus 350 power. Golden Boy took minus 1.7 million. So that's just huge. What is that? 5 times difference. So pretty crazy. And Golden Boy definitely has a good lineup. This, in my opinion, is the second best vehicle lineup. So it's basically excluding Heaven's Redemption, Organic, and Death Rider, because that's kind of in the first lineup. But then, yeah, Kamikaze, Ivan, and Anna does some pretty cool things. Yeah, I mean, you can see they did a lot of damage. Basically, just Hummingbird does more damage than Anna and Ivanov combined. So, I mean, and Kamikaze, she actually did more damage than all 3 of them combined. And they have treatment, a lot of treatment too. Look at this, 98,000, 25,000, and 2,000. I mean, 2,000, whatever, but 125,000 treatment and 260,000 units from one here. It's just, it's a really good lineup. She has Baneblade, obviously. Golden Boy doesn't. In that battle, Golden Boy, it's not actually full Baneblade. She doesn't have full Baneblade. I think she has 4 pieces, and Golden Boy just has full golden. But still, a crazy good lineup. That's why it's given a 10. Like I said, it does generally get beat by Death Riders. So he kind of counters this lineup because he's immune to CC, and he's going to basically be CCing Hummingbird a lot, and then Hummingbird's kind of useless. So yeah, it does have a weakness. I will say that one way to counter that weakness on occasion, so if you know that you're getting attacked by someone who's got that, let's say Kamikaze, Heaven's Death Ride APC, you can replace Hummingbird with Nomad. So Nomad's basically going to be not immune, but he's not going to get hit by most of those CCs, and he's still going to be able to dish out pretty good damage, similar to Hummingbird. So that's one way to sort of counter that. But again, that's if you know they're coming. And then he can obviously counter it again, and etc. And it's kind of a back and forth at that point. Anyway, moving down, we see basically the same lineup. We just have Iron Sentinel instead of Canoness. So similar concept here, 2 pretty tanky, buffy, kind of a little bit of CC heroes, and then Glass Cannon Hummingbird. Iron Sentinel is going to increase their combat speed and her damage, and he's going to make her take less damage, so that's pretty cool. But really the only reason you would do this, you would have Iron Sentinel instead of Canoness, is if Canoness wasn't maxed, or if you didn't have her, and Iron Sentinel was. So if we go down further, we have a 9.7. We see Canoness, Major Anna, and then Organic. So this is kind of a more vehicle focused lineup. I don't think this one's that great. There's a shit ton of CC, which is good. So Canoness has good suppression, which synergizes very well with Organic. Similar with Major Anna, she has good suppression. But in general, it doesn't really matter too much because none of these heroes need basic attacks, and Anna's going to be buffing their basic attack. And it also can cleanse debuffs, but Canoness can cleanse her own debuffs, so I don't think it's too good. It's only a 9.7. If we go down one further, so basically non-Season X heroes, We'll have Tech Priestess, Venom Walker, and Hummingbird. Very similar concept to the kind of Iron Sentinel Tech Hummingbird lineup. 2 tanky, supportive heroes, and then Glass Cannon Hummingbird to kind of sweep up and kill everybody. So yeah, that's probably the best mixed troop formation pre-Season X. You'll notice a lot of the time, it's basically just kind of like a fighter or a supporty hero, and then kind of damage from the other people. Specifically, Tech Priestess and Canoness. A lot of people just plug them into different lineups, and they're pretty damn good, especially if you have Baneblade. If you don't, so for the first lineup, let's pretend you have no Baneblade parts. This is kind of the parts setup that you would want. So you basically have your fighters with HP and tactical resistance and just normal resistance. So all of these give kind of those tankier stats. And then your shooter heroes will have the tactical might and then regular might. So you still get the 4-piece bonus, and your shooters get might and tactical might, which is basically all that Hummingbird needs. And then your fighters get tactical resistance and HP, which is just going to synergize great with Canoness and Tech Priestess. So this is kind of the part setup that I like without Baneblade. Obviously, if you have Baneblade parts, just equip Baneblade parts. You don't even have to think about it. Baneblade's just better than everything, so obviously do that. There is one additional lineup that I want to talk about, and it is Koshé, Anna, Nomad. So this is a basic attack, crazy basic attack combo. So if you're not familiar, again, I do have these guys in the best shooter Season X videos. Just check the description to get a more in-depth review on these heroes. But essentially, Koshé is all about basic attacks. So after basic attacks, there's an 80% chance to decrease the damage taken, and this can stack. Basically, again, after basic attacks, he's going to do damage, or there's that chance to do damage, and he's going to recover troops for himself. He's also fairly tanky, so he can be put in the front line, like I had said. And then his 8th ability, very cool. So 35% chance to make 2 random friendly squads attack twice, and it'll have increased damage. This buff can go on himself. So Bullet Hail can go on himself, and he's going to attack twice. Each one of those attacks could deal 310 damage and recover, and each one of those attacks could make him more tanky. And this could happen twice, right? So he's going to have minus 80%. He's going to have 80% damage reduction. Just be doing a ton of damage and recovering a bunch of troops. And then we have Anna, who kind of similarly is a basic attack focused. So she's going to make basic attacks, or she has the chance to make basic attacks suppress. She also has an ability to make friendly squads basic attack twice each turn for the first 3 turns. So essentially what you're going to have is Anna is going to buff Koshé, who's just going to basic attack twice. Each one of those basic attacks is going to proc all 3 of his abilities. I mean, so you're basically doing 4 basic attacks in 1 turn. Pretty crazy. And then her 8th ability, they're just going to deal more damage and stuff like that. And then kind of the same with Nomad, so he also gets benefits from basic attacking. So there's a chance after he basic attacks that he's just going to do a lot of damage, 742, and he's going to make them unable to recover troops. Again, right here, his pot shot, his 5th ability, is basically just going to increase basic attack damage. So again, around basic attacks. And then his 8th ability just increases basic attack damage always, so it's 100% more. If he's getting Major Anna's buff for basic attacks, and he's basic attacking twice at plus 100, plus 160, and then this procs twice. I mean, you'll see sometimes Nomad just does insane amounts of damage, of unit defeated damage even. So this lineup does have a weakness. I do actually think Deus Ex, Koshé, Nomad is generally stronger. The reason is it's just more consistent. Consistency definitely matters in this game. I mean, generally, you know, especially in Eden or Kill Event or something, you're gonna be attacked by a ton of bases and a lot of different APCs, and so your APCs need to kind of be able to counteract all of those. In some certain circumstances, you're basically only going to care about the strongest. You know, if you're at this level where you have all the Season X and Baneblade and stuff like this, you're only really going to care about the strongest enemy. Most of the other enemies are kind of just weak. They're not really going to be doing much damage. So there are some times where you can kind of fine tune and counter very strong enemies, especially if you're attacking. So if you're attacking someone and you know their formations, you can basically place attacking formations to kind of defeat their defensive lineups. That's definitely more advanced stuff, but I mean, it's real. That's the game. So anyway, I do like that lineup, Koshé, Ana, Nomad. It's pretty fun, and it's very good against non-CC heroes. Because the problem is if these heroes get CC'd, they're kind of duds. It's very hard for Nomad to get CC'd, but the other two, they're basically duds. Whereas Deus Ex just always has buffs and debuffs, so it doesn't really matter. He doesn't care. CC doesn't affect him much at all. So yeah, that's the mixed troops. There are a bunch of other lineups, like I was mentioning, basically just putting Tech Priestess or Canoness in really any lineup and it's going to be pretty good, just because they're that strong of heroes individually, and their skills just work for all different unit types. So yeah, pretty cool. Anyway guys, that's pretty much it for this, for I guess kind of the best hero lineups. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed some of these videos. Like I said, the kind of rating was curated by Lash Out Their community Discord, and similarly it was judged by them. So if you want to join that, I always leave the link in the description. Otherwise, as you guys have been doing, just if you have lineup questions, please just leave them in the comments. I'm probably going to be doing more videos on sorry, that's kind of loud, on individual heroes. So basically, like, a lot of people will ask, oh, is Caesar good? Is Hummingbird good? Kind of just individually, and I'll kind of be explaining stuff like that. I want to do a whole parts rundown. So especially with regards to Baneblade, there are times when you'd want to use 2 Baneblade parts, 4 Baneblade, 6 Baneblade is kind of usually the order, but I'd also kind of explain how to best make parts and things like that. So yeah, I'll be doing more content. Stay tuned, guys. Like I said, if you guys hate the webcam, let me know. I'll get rid of it immediately. And let me know how the mic sounds. All right, guys, thanks. Stay safe, good luck, and yeah, have fun. All right, peace.